Tough conversations can pop up anywhere, whether it's in the sword alley, the pickup cab, or over supper at the kitchen table. And let's be honest, navigating those talks can leave everyone involved feeling frustrated, unheard, or stuck. That's why I created a free guide, Handling Hard Conversations, 3 Steps to Creating Space for Clarity, Connection, and Mutual Respect. In this quick and practical resource, you will learn how to pause and ground yourself before your emotions run wild, validate both yourself and others, building trust, and how to ask honest questions that lead to real connection. These 3 simple steps can help you communicate better and keep your relationships, whether it's with your family, your crew, or your spouse, strong and steady, even on the hard days. Download your free copy today and start moving more smoothly through those hard conversations with confidence. The link is in the show notes, so go grab it now. Here's to drawing good movement.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. Guess who's back? Say something.
Hey.
It's Tom. He's back. And I don't know how many episodes it's been since he's been on, but it's been a lot.
Been a bunch.
Because about the second week of April, when we started calving,
Yeah.
through about now, we're super busy between calving and all the branding and all the things.
Yep. And quite a show.
We had fair last week. The kids did super good with their horses and their static entries, and the girls showed their guinea hog and box turtle.
Entered a golf tournament.
Yeah, and Tom entered a couple of golf tournaments.
No, I entered one with Trip last week.
Yeah, and then you had one the weekend before that too, right?
Yep.
And everybody says, I can't believe how good a golfer Tom is. So, fun fact, Tom can golf.
You wouldn't believe it.
But this episode, we're actually going to talk about something that happened earlier today. Do you want to tell the story of what happened earlier today?
You can tell it.
Well, you were there. Okay, I'll tell it.
Yeah, but I won't do a good job.
You can fill in the blanks. Okay, so the cows are on the meadow right in front of the house. And they need to go northeast, right?
Yeah, and we preconditioned yesterday.
Oh, we preconditioned yesterday.
Hence the reason why I wanted to get them up and moving.
So it's just a really super short, easy move. Simple move. I'll say simple.
Should have been.
And Tuesdays are my work days. Today is a Tuesday. We record podcasts on Tuesdays. They come out in 2 weeks after they get recorded. So you're hearing this. There's a little lag time. But anyway, I'm not helping move the cows because it's Tuesday and that's my work day in the office work day. So Tom asked the kids if they wanted to go, and they did, and ride their horses, and they did. And his horse was lame. His horse has navicular and he was sore this morning. So Tom was just going to be mostly moral support in the side-by-side.
Yeah, because the kids didn't really need me. I was going to go do tubs and solars and
Shut gates.
And all the things that way. They didn't really need me.
Yeah, and so...
I kick cows out of the trap. crap like that, like super simple.
Yeah, because it's an oddly shaped meadow situation. It's like a horseshoe.
Yeah.
I watched the cows and the kids go past the house, and I even Snapchatted it to some people. Like, oh, the kids are moving cows. And Tom texts me a little while later. Well, that didn't go very well.
No, I said, well, that sucked.
Oh, yeah, that sucked. The kids are headed back to the house to unsaddle, and I'm going to go do whatever you were going to do.
Well, I had cows I saw in another place that weren't where they were supposed to be. So being that I was already in the buggy, I thought I'd just go that way and see what was going on there.
And then you proceeded to text me other things about why it didn't go very good. Our youngest was sending the cattle in the wrong direction because the instructions that you gave, because I was there for that part, was we're going to take them past the stackyard and through the gate. Well, there's a stackyard on each side of this pasture and a gate past the stackyard that's on each side of this pasture. So Tag thought that they were going to the other stackyard and gate. So she was on the complete wrong side. And for a little girl, she has a pretty good energy to like get cows moving.
Things were moving, that's for sure. She was having a grand old time.
So based on the tone of your text, I was like, oh man, I should go down and see how the kids thought it went. And plus, I needed to take my dog back down and put him in his home. And so I go down, and the kids are all like pretty jovial, and the older ones are catching one of the old mares because she's got cactus thorns stuck in her neck and her feet and everywhere, and they're gonna get them out for her. And the youngest one was headed down to open the gate so they could go back out to pasture. And they had their horses all put away. I was like, hey guys, to the older two, and they're like, hey mom. I was like, how did that go? Oh, it went good. I was like, oh, good. Did you have fun? Yeah, it was really fun. And they proceeded on pulling stickers out of Roxanne. And then the youngest gets back, and we're walking up to the house. And I said, how did that go? Well, it was pretty rough to start because I thought the cows were supposed to go the other way. But after we got that figured out, it went really good.
It did.
And I was like, man, this is a different perspective than I've been getting from Tom. So Tom texts me a picture, and the cows that were out and out of water.
Well, they weren't supposed to be where they were.
Right. They were out, and we didn't have things set up for the tank that they were on. So they ran out of water. So he said, you were going to move them there shortly. So we just rolled with it. And
well, they had another like 4 days. So like solar would have been moved there to the location that was out today. But being they were already there, it was either move cows off a dry tank, which if you have any experience with that is an uphill fight, or just go get the solar and have a tank full of water in a couple hours.
Yeah. So you texted me and you said, I'm going to go get a solar. I need a generator with fuel. So I grabbed the generator and I met you out there.
Yep.
And then we sat there because if you have a dry tank that's getting water into it, the cows will sometimes jump in the tank and then they get out because there's no water in it and the fence that's over top of it is high enough they can walk under.
Yeah, so that was a split tank, but you also don't want cattle in your tanks.
Right. Especially bottomless tanks because they'll poke holes in them. So anyway, we're sitting there just making sure no cows are getting in the tank while they get their drinks and get their fill. And we were probably out there for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just visited the whole time, and
we pretty much solved all the world's problems. I compare it to like your and Jake's shoeing sessions in the horse barn.
Yeah, I mean, there are not many problems left to be solved.
And by the world's problems, I mean my problems.
But when I first got out there, you had calmed down a little bit from the tone of your text, but you were still pretty hot.
Well, I couldn't hardly talk. I'd been yelling at kids. Not yelling at kids, just
yelling loud enough so they could hear.
Yeah, because the little 50-pound kid, the youngest, She can move some stuff. I tell you what. I don't
She
know
really can.
what she does or how she does it, but like stockmanship's all about straight lines, right? And so everybody's got to be in a straight line, T to the gate, however you want to say it, but perpendicular to where you're going. And we're very passionate about that, especially when things go poorly to begin with and things are going the wrong direction. You have to either make a U turn with your bunch or you just abandon ship and get on the other side. So, yeah, when we finally got Tag in the right spot, man, we put her right dead center, put a kid on each end of her. So there's 3 kids, straight line, teamwork makes the dream work. If you can imagine this all going as planned, it was a process because one kid's
In
riding a colt and the other kid's down in some swamp. It was a deal. And I was like, you're doing great. And they had 2 dogs, but they had no idea what the dogs were doing. Thank God the dogs knew what they were doing.
it was a deal in your mind.
In my mind, 100%.
In their mind, it was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. So the best thing I could have done, in my opinion, is what I did. And I said, once we get them going in the right direction, I'm going to abandon ship and I'm just going to go set gates and I'll meet you guys at the gate, which they only had half a mile, 3/4 of a mile to drive them. But those calves really needed to drive and it needed to be good for the calves. So I wasn't in the right frame of mind. The kids were having a grand old time, evidently. So, like, honestly, that was probably the best thing I could have done for the cows and the kids and the horses and the dogs was just leave.
And so when I got out to the tank, you were still a little hot. You were concerned that the volume of your voice was like, you were concerned that made it not fun for the kids, or like what you were telling them to do made it not fun and whatever. And I was like, well, for one thing, I've told the kids on multiple occasions that if it sounds like we're yelling when we're moving cows, we're not mad. We're just yelling so you can hear us. And that's a hard thing to do, to yell and not sound mad
Yeah, because, like, school starts in
in 2 days.
2 days. And I just wanted to go spend some good time with the kids and their horses before school started because when school starts, all bets are off. So I thought it was just going to be fun and uneventful. And it was for the most part. But,
You just maybe had your expectation here
well,
and the move was here.
we did a bit on communication not very long ago. I think I was involved in on this, if I remember right, but I don't remember so good. I think we talked about communication and how important that is to communicate the plan.
Okay, wait. Time out. Pause. So I got out there. You're still hot because you thought that you wrecked the day for the kids.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you were not super pleased with how the move went. And I said, well, I don't know if this is going to make you feel any better, but I asked the kids and they all thought it was great,
Which made me feel better.
which turns out it did make you feel better. But now go ahead, play.
Well, the inner critic at that point was telling me things that apparently weren't true, which is great. And I appreciate you asking the kids about it because in my mind, it didn't go well. So back to the communication thing. Yeah, communication is key. Like everybody's probably been in this position where you tell people things and you ask them if they got it and they nod their head or they say yes. And then you go to do the whatever that thing is. It's like, are you here? Did you listen? Did you hear the words that came out of my mouth? And that's where you need to implement, okay, this is what I need. And this is what I told you to do or asked you to do. Now you repeat that back to me. What are we going to do?
Because if we had done that this morning, you would have known that Tag was thinking
The opposite end of the horseshoe.
which you said the gate past the stackyard.
Yep. 100%.
And she was going for the gate past the stackyard. It was just the wrong stackyard.
Right. Because I said we're going to put them on the county road. And that pasture
both
has a county road through it. So it's like, oh, crap. Okay.
Yeah. So when we were out there solving the world's problems, AKA Tom's problems, and sometimes mine, we decided that when we take the kids, when we're working with other people, when we're working with each other, even because there's times that you and I are not completely on the same page.
Right.
We're just going to ask the other people involved, okay, what's the plan? And have them repeat it back to us so that we know if we've done a good job explaining, if they understand what's happening, so that we're not sending cows the wrong direction and causing more work than what is necessary.
Right. And nothing got hurt in the deal, right? But we left the house and the kids were, behind me. And the reason I noticed that somebody was confused was I looked to my left and she'd already sent all the cows the wrong direction. So I stopped and I hollered back, which I should have waited for them to catch up. But me being in a hurry, I didn't. And I said, "You know where we're going, right?" "Yep." "Okay."
Which she did.
Which she did. I said, "Well, you need to be over here with your brother and sister, right?" "Yep." "Okay." And so I took off again because we'd left some gates open. The pasture they were in attaches to the arena and the pens, and there's kind of a long lane that's divided. And we just left that open so they could, when we took them out last night or yesterday morning after we preconditioned and settled them, the horse weeds are tall enough in there, like we weren't sure we got everything. So we just left gates open. So if anything got in there, they could go out or moms could come back or whatever needed done. And there were cows in there. So I let them come out and shut gates. And so when the kids got to the backside where I thought the backside was, that everything would be in one bunch. I'd help the kids get started and then I'd just go and they could drive them on down the fence and down the meadow and they'd be there. So once we finally got to the backside where I thought the backside was, and before I got stuff turned around, the kids were already trying to hold up cows and, taking the drive out and going to make the turn. And the cows turned the wrong way, which was fine. We just needed to continue to turn. Well, when we continued to turn, the little one was still confused.
Because she knew where she was going.
Because she knew where she was going. It just wasn't the same place the other three of us were going. So we finally got stuff turned back to where it was supposed to be. And there were calves down in the rushes and the cattails. And I said, well, I'll run and grab them. You guys just keep going on. And about the time you hit the end of the lake, I'll be here with these and we'll be good. Okay. So I take off and it's probably another half mile. Nah, not that far. It's quite a ways to get the ones that I'd saw down in the cattails in the swamp. They come out. And by the time I turned around, I had cows with me. And here's 3 kids at a lope. The oldest one comes up to me, says, when you took off, they were leaving. And I said, that's fine. We'll just turn them back around. They're still kind of paired up. We'll just ease them back that way and take off. And so I finally caught the little girl and I said, do you know where we're going? She said, yeah, right up there. I said, no, that's not where we're going at all. I said, we're going to put them on the county road. We're going past the stackyard through the gate. And she pointed and she said, yeah, right there. Well, shoot. You're right. But no, we're going over there. And she's like, oh, we got a mess. I'm like, yes, we do.
It was so cute when she said, when I asked her how it went, she said, well, it was a little rough to start because I didn't know where we were going. But once we got it figured out, it went really well.
Yep.
Well, did you have fun? Yep, I did.
Yeah, I did not have fun. I could not hardly talk. I was yelling at her so much. Like, what are you doing?
And she can't hear you.
She can't hear me.
So
even the dogs were lost. And if our dogs get lost, that's saying a lot.
Well, they didn't know if they were supposed to push them.
Bring them or take them.
Yeah.
Pick one.
The 2 things I want to point out from today was the differing perceptions. The kids thought it went fantastic and you thought it sucked.
It was not the move that I wanted the day after working to have. Like, to me, it's very important to give them a good handle, take the stress off, be the guy that takes them to new feed, takes them to water, takes them to all this good stuff, right? So that they don't get sick. Like, that's what matters to me. So yeah, it did not go the way I intended it to go. But you're right. I guess I saw that to a point, and that's why I just abandoned ship. Like, you guys got them, you're having a
Well,
good
because
time.
there's still something to be said for your energy. Like the kids' energy was like, this is awesome. It's a great day. And yours was like, wah, wah.
Right.
And the cattle can read that too.
Yep.
The second thing I wanted to point out is how we talked about it and we figured out, like, we reviewed the scenario. We did a run review, like we do at our EMT meetings. We did a run review. We figured out what we could do better from here on out. And I did tell the kids that today was also back to school day. So we had to get back here and have kids in town by 2 for concussion protocols and school pictures and signing all the papers and the parent meeting and all the good things that happen before school. So on the way home, we were visiting and I told them that from here on out, we're just going to ask them to repeat back to us the plan. So that way we make sure that we're doing a good job explaining, that everybody understands and all that. And the middleist, the middle girl, she said, I kind of like it when the cows go different ways because then it gives me practice at straight lines and like I feel like I'm learning. And so I was like, there's another perspective.
Yeah, which we did not really have to start out with. Like, the kids know straight lines. Like, they know they need to stay in a straight line no matter how many people, as straight as you can. And you're either in the back or you're clear to the front, but you don't get to ride out on the sides. So when we first started, like, now that I know what I know, and one of them was just off her rocker, like,
She wasn't off her rocker.
she was off the team rocker. It's like, oh, well, that explains a lot. Because the other two were, if two people are in a straight line, it's always straight. You're just, the pressure's in a different direction. 3 people, you got to pay attention. And if one of you goes ahead, then somebody needs to back up, right? There's a pivot point in there. And if there's 4, 5, 6, 8, whatever,
Everybody has to
everybody's
adjust.
got to pay attention. Everybody's got to adjust. Like, you can be in front a little bit, but for the most part, that line needs to be fairly straight. You can go out farther, but you can't go up unless you're going way up. And so there was a lot of learning this morning that happened because the kids have moved by themselves. There's always geographic challenges, we'll say, or gate locations that are challenging. So you never know. And how do you get better if you're never allowed to do it by yourself or with a less experienced team? But yeah, there was lots of education this morning and I was super frustrated. And then when I saw cows out, that's not really my MO. So that made me more upset. And as an Enneagram 1, that was far less than perfect. So yeah, I definitely had some struggles and the critics started talking and it took a while to get that reined in and in check. But had a pretty good day when that got over.
By the time this comes out, we'll have already done the deal.
Whoa, you have my attention.
We're speaking together at the Goodmanson Sandhills Laboratory open house on the 20th of August, but this episode comes out the 26th of August. So I was just going back to part of our conversation there around the tank. You had commented about, do all ones need to verbalize to process through the emotional wave or, whatever. So we visited about that. And I was talking about how your emotional waves used to be like water rapids, and now they're flatter, calmer, and get over them faster, ride the wave quicker. And you're like, but I don't even know what I did.
I don't. That still stands true.
And so you were voicing that when we go talk on next Wednesday, that you were nervous because you are thinking people are going to want, like, well, how did you do it? What did you do? But it's just like you say with cattle. There's no formula. There's just feel. You have to have feel. And I can see that you're doing work, and it's nervous systems regulating, emotional waves less. But anyway, where I was going with this is we should do a podcast episode after we get done talking at GSL about what we talked about at GSL.
Provided we talk about anything constructive.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Hopefully.
Lots of people are coming. You're the main event.
Is there lots of people coming?
I shared that we were talking on Facebook today, and it said people were coming.
Oh, good.
I mean, some people said they were coming. And a couple people
across the microphone and stare at each other.
A couple people tonight at back to school night asked what time we were talking.
Oh.
So there will be people there.
Good.
So we'll report back.
Okay.
Because it's going to be an interactive presentation where we field questions and stuff. So
we should make them true or false.
Anything else you want to add? I guess the points that I wanted to make were differing perspectives in the stories we tell ourselves, and that there was learning all the way around.
Yeah. And I would say just communicate, make sure everybody's on the same page.
Well, yeah, that was part of our learning, is to communicate.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But went good. Kids aren't pissed at me, which is always a bonus. I appreciate that because they're fun to hang around with. They're to an age where it's a lot of fun, and I'm kind of bummed out their school starts.
Yeah. This is a little bit off the topic, but going clear back to the beginning of this episode when we talked about the fair, Tag, our youngest, made horseshoe boot jack. And she got another order tonight.
Oh, my Lord.
She's a little businesswoman, a little entrepreneur.
Cool.
Well, if you don't have anything else, we can go ahead and sign off.
Nope. I'm good. Thanks.
All right. With that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.